Now we are going to start discussion about one of the very important topic, and that is the spectrophotometric analysis of sun rays. My dear friends, remember the effect of sun rays on human life is of immense importance. In fact, Earth moving around itself and Earth's rotation around the sun is one of the very important event, and its impact on human life. In fact, we can discuss for hours and hours from different angles. But as far as the perspective of vastushastra from scientific angle, now we are going to discuss its impact, rather what is the effect we get from sunlight in northeast region, in southeast region, in southwest region and northwest region, and even the Brahma region of every premises. In the year 1666, Sir Isaac Newton did an experiment. He allowed the sunlight to pass through a prism. Prism means an object made from transparent glass in which three triangles coming together. That is called prism. When you allow the sun rays to pass through this, and if you look at the effect of sun rays on the other side, you will find a spectrum of 7 colors. 7 colors emanating from the sun rays. This proves that sun rays are composed of or is a combination of 7 colors together. He has further mentioned also the white light we get from the sun rays is nothing but the mixture of 7 colors. There was another experiment done by another scientist in which there were 7 color bands were formed, and these 7 color bands, rather I will say this particular the round shape object, when it was put on the motion, if you rotate with high speed, you will come to know that all the 7 colors disappear from the disc and you simply get a white color. This particular experiment also simply proves that the 7 colors when come together gives us white color. Even the rainbow we are able to see during the rain showers and the presence of sun or the sun rays is nothing but the prismatic effect due to the rain droplets or the water accumulated at certain places, and that reflection effect get us the rainbow effect. All these examples simply shows that sun rays are composed of, are made up of 7 color band. This was not the end of the research on sun rays. With the different type of experiments and the research, ultimately an instrument was developed called as spectrophotometer. And when the sun rays were allowed to pass through the spectrophotometer, the result we got was something totally different from the earlier research analysis. When the sun rays pass through the spectrophotometer, we get 7 color band. If this is the sun and if we get the sun rays, there will be 7 color bands. There will be 7 color bands from sun rays. That is called violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. Apart from this research also shows that there are ultraviolet rays coming from, or there are ultraviolet rays are in sunlight, and this sunlight also composed of infrared rays. So on one side you get infrared and on the other side you get ultraviolet. This study further shows that sunlight does contain some sort of rays called as alpha, beta, gamma and X-rays. Mind well, these alpha, beta, gamma and X-rays are highly hazardous to human life, but thanks to the nature, or thanks to the nature and the planet Earth, that there is a ozone layer around this planet Earth, and because of this ozone layer we are safeguarded, and because of this ozone layer these alpha, beta, gamma rays are not able to reach on the planet Earth. So this is basically, I will say, the Earth is protected by ozone rays or the ozone layer from alpha, beta, gamma and X-rays. But had it reached to Earth, had these alpha, beta, gamma rays would have reached to the Earth, we could not have survived. In fact, because of the ozone layer around the Earth, there is a living system. This is what another one conclusion we can have with respect to the study of sun rays. But these ultraviolet rays and the infrared rays, scientifically speaking, both of them are not that much good for human life. But the presence and the intensity of ultraviolet rays we are getting from sunlight are highly useful for the human life, whereas the infrared rays we are getting from the sun rays are highly troublesome and hazardous for human life. And how it has been decided, there is a further study about this. Rather, the physics or the studies of all these sun rays or different type of waves shows that the sun rays or all types of energies, they come to the earth or they are existing in the form of waves. Every ray in the sunlight or all different types of waves, whether it is sound waves or any other type of waves, they always come in the form of rhythmic motion, or they can be represented like this in the form of this type of the waves. Of course, the length of the waves vary with every object. Even in case of the spectrophotometric analysis we get from sun rays, how we have been able to differentiate them as ultraviolet rays, the 7 color band and the infrared rays, or even the alpha, beta, gamma rays. This is all because of their wavelength characteristics. If you take this particular first wave in a particular prescribed distance, you are able to get one particular wave. In the same picture, you get, this is another wave picture, and in this same prescribed distance, there are two waves in the same distance we are able to get. And even we can get the waves of this type, wherein in the same prescribed distance, we are getting, or we are able to accommodate 4.5 waves. This simply shows the size of the wave, or which is called as the wavelength. Depending upon the length of the wave, that is the wavelength, they are described in different categories, or they are classified into different categories. And suppose if this is the wave which we are discussing, the first one, in a prescribed distance, we are able to get one wave, and these are basically, I can say, ultraviolet. Because, or if you consider this as a wave for ultraviolet, then these are the waves representing, rather I have labeled them as medium waves. They are considered as the waves representing the 7 colors. And these so compact waves are nothing but representing infrared waves. As there is a large, or the length of the wave is very high, they are smooth and not that much troublesome or hazardous. Similarly, the medium waves, every day in and out, we are able to see lot of different colors from these 7 main colors, and they all give us soothing effects. In very exceptional cases, their intensity may disturb us, but that is very, very rare and exceptional. But at the same time, these infrared rays are definitely very hazardous, and rather when we experience all these type of rays, let me tell you one by one. This is one thing, because of this wavelength size. Now whatever the ultraviolet we get, before coming to the description of ultraviolet rays, I would like to mention one more thing. And in case of this wave, whatever is the wavelength that is measured with one particular unit, and it is represented as AU. The word AU means angstrom unit. The scientist who developed the method to measure these waves, after his name, it has been remembered, or it has been labeled as angstrom units. So, coming to the wavelength size of ultraviolet, all those waves we are getting from sun rays whose wavelength is around or less than 3600 angstrom units are ultraviolet rays, or in other words, the wavelength size of ultraviolet rays is slightly below 3600 angstrom units. Whereas the wavelength size of this violet color is 4100 angstrom unit, and it goes with color, it goes on changing, and ultimately the wavelength size of red color is 6300 angstrom units. But the wavelength size of infrared is more than 6300 angstrom units. Since infrared rays are very compact, Their wave size are very much vertical and very compact and thick. Because of this nature, they are very much penetrating or rather troublesome, whereas in case of ultraviolet, the wavelength size is very large, they are very smooth, and that's why we are able to get soothing effect as far as whatever the ultraviolet rays that are available in sun rays, they are positive and beneficial for human beings. And at the same time, one more thing I would like to bring it to your kind attention, that all the ancient textbooks or the reference books about which we have discussed in previous lecture, you will come to know that our saints and sages have already mentioned about these rays. For example, in case of ultraviolet rays, there is a word in vernacular, it is called as Atinila Kiran. This means, or rather in case of infrared rays, the vernacular word is Tamra Kiran. Atinila Kiran and Tamra Kiran, these two words simply justify or shows that thousands of years back, our saints and sages were aware of this type of rays and their properties and their nature. So definitely vastushastra right from the ancient days, it has been studied and brought forward with scientific perspective.